not to say it's not difficult, because yes, and myself included, so many of us overthink, overanalyze things about ourselves, and often come to very negative conclusions that, again, we don't deserve to be there. I'm not qualified. Like, I can't tell you how many times early in my career I'm like, how did I graduate from college? Like, I must have fooled someone, and someone is going to eventually figure it out that I was a fraud and like call me on it, and everything's going to fall apart. We just think that way, but I think it's important to address. And this is a really important episode, because while we can talk about the tangible pieces and the logistics of why we kind of get stuck in this reporting, dashboarding frame of mind, really I think the more valuable, important conversation is the fact that we do have some very known things, whether it's imposter syndrome, whether it's lack of training and mentoring on how to present to executives, how to defend your ideas, how to properly prepare and come to discuss how the data was collected, how it was processed, how it was calculated. We don't really have a lot of those conversations. We're really, really good at talking about how to collect data, how to make sure we have everything tuned up to do personalization correctly. We're talking about how to make sure we're not getting in trouble with GDPR and compliance issues. We're really good about talking about data visualization techniques, but not a lot of people in our space are talking about, well, how do we overcome imposter syndrome? How do we overcome this feeling that we don't belong at the table? How do we properly prepare to present to executives? We don't have those conversations. And those are very, very meaningful conversations, I believe, for getting us out of the basement, for getting us away from the kids' table to where we can sit with the adults, we can be in the boardroom, and we can be peers, because we absolutely deserve to be there. We have the ability to be there, we have the intelligence to be there, but I think it's up to us and no one else to address some of those key issues that we're not really talking about in our industry, that I think can go an incredibly far way to getting us a seat at the table. And that's not to say that the fundamentals aren't important. That, sure, we need to talk about proper data collection. Sure, we need to talk about the best way to visualize data. But if we haven't addressed those issues about our lack of confidence and ability to be at the table, as we started out this conversation for, we can have all the data. We can, we can have the ability to defend it and have a very informed conversation with stakeholders. But if we're not right mentally to have that, we're going to come across as weak. People are going to sense it. They're going to pounce on it, and they're going to push us into the corner.